Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today it is Monday the 30th of November and as you can see I'm on the North Promenade. I've just passed the Metropole and I'm walking past the newly renovated mini golf course, which is looking very nice, and I am going to play on that as soon as it reopens up, probably in the new year. And right now I'm on my way to the Ambassador Hotel to film any work that may or may not be going on. But I've had a bit of a new idea for a new series on my channel. People sometimes ask me to do different stuff, different Blackpool related stuff, and looking at my analytics of my YouTube channel, like viewing statistics and stuff, the majority of my viewers, something like 79%, are over the age of 40. I do have a few younger people, well, quite a lot of younger people that watch, but the main people that watch my channel are older people. Not that 40's old, because I've been through 40's door and moved on, and I don't count myself as being old, so yeah. But I thought it'd be nice to start a little series of videos about like bygone days in Blackpool. That's what I'm going to call it, because a lot of people like to talk about memories when they were younger, so I thought I'd share some of mine and you guys, girls, can wade in with some of yours. Now my first memory of growing up in Blackpool is going to be school dinners. Now how many times have you said, if you're over 40 or even over 30, how many times have you said, oh, things were better when I were a kid, things were much better? And this is what this series will touch on. Were things actually better, or are we just thinking they were better because we're remembering our own past through rose-coloured glasses? So today, the subject of today's chat is going to be school dinners. Were they better before or better now? Now, when I was a little kid, I went to Bygone Primary School, the one on Penrose Avenue, and I stayed in school for school dinners. And every day, every single day, the dinners were basically the same. You'd go to the serving hatch and there'd be about 5 dinner ladies stood on one hatch and a few trays. You'd get your plate from the pile, queue up in line, and the first lady would scoop a bit of meat onto your plate, and it was either one little tiny slice of beef or lamb. It was almost always beef. Occasionally it was lamb, but it was almost always beef. Occasionally it was a slice of hot pot or meat pie with a little crust on, and I always enjoyed that. But it was basically the same kind of thing. Then you'd get a little green scoop full of mashed potato. So it was a bit cool, and you'd always find the odd little lump in it, but for the most part it was nice. And the next lady would give you a roast potato, and then one lady would give you, she had like these little tiny little ladles where she'd ladle out 2 scoops of veg, and it was always either carrots or cabbage, or peas and carrots, or peas and cabbage, and it was a sort of veg you get from those giant catering tins, you know. At least I think it was. They could have spent all that. They could definitely have spent all morning cutting up cabbages and peeling carrots and potatoes. And they probably did, thinking back. I think back then people were less likely to use it and stuff. But anyhow, the last lady on the line had a big silver metal jug where she would pour some gravy over your dinner. So every child got a meat and 2 veg, roast potato, mashed potato and gravy dinner every school day. And you had to eat your veg. You were not allowed to leave it. I mean, I always quite like cabbage, and peas I liked. Carrots, I never liked them. I avoid carrots now as an adult because I don't like them, but I can eat them. I like them if they're grated on salads and things like that, but I do not like carrots on my dinner as a veg. But I used to eat them as a kid because you pretty much had to. And we always got a pudding. It was almost always a piece of sponge cake or sponge pudding with hot custard over it. And I always remember really liking the puddings. There were a couple of different exceptions. I think a day in the summer we would always get a salad, and I didn't like the salads. I always liked hot food even in the summer, but again I ate them because you had to back then. You weren't allowed to leave stuff on your plate, so you get a salad. And one day in the summer when it was probably July, close to my holidays, our pudding used to be ice cream, and they were individual little slices of ice cream, the kind you would put between two wafers and eat like an ice cream sandwich. And you got one of them on a plate. But here's the thing, the dinner ladies would drown your ice cream with this bright green minty custard, and I've never met a single kid that liked the custard. It was like and we all wanted the ice cream, but nobody wanted the custard. But you were not allowed to have the ice cream without the custard. You had to have both. And if you picked up your ice cream block with a fork and started to eat your ice cream without the custard, an angry dinner lady would walk up to you, knock your ice cream foot back into the hideous custard and smush it all up together. So I remember what I used to do is, I used to get my spoon and wolf down the custard as quick as I could, just get rid of it, and then I would take my time and really enjoy my ice cream like a reward. But overall I think the school dinners were great. There was a few things I didn't like, but overall I really liked them. And I remember when I went to secondary school, it was the same sort of system until a couple of years in, and then they changed it from the traditional serving hatch, meat and 2 veg dinners into what they call the cafeteria system. And I remember being really excited for that, because I thought it'd be like going to a cafe every day to choose what you want to eat for your school dinner. How great is that? But the big downside was it was so much more expensive. My school dinners back then, when my parents would pay the weekly fee for 5 school dinners, was 40p for dinner. So they would give me, instead of giving me the weekly amount, they would just give me 40p per day to get a dinner, but 40p wouldn't buy a dinner. Because if you wanted to buy a dinner, for instance the school cafe, you could buy steak pudding, chips and peas and a pudding, but that would have cost you around 72p. So 40p would buy you a dinner, and I had to buy something like soup and a roll or something small. So in the end, me and my friends, we used to just sneak out of school and go to a local cake shop where we would buy cheese rolls and stuff like that, or little malt loaves, so we'd get enough to eat for dinner, because otherwise we'd spend the whole day hungry. So back in my day, school dinners I think were definitely better than school dinners are today. Well, actually I'm going to correct myself there, because I don't know what school dinners are like today. When my kids were at school, I saw their dinners once or twice, and they went through a phase of looking really crappy, and I used to just think, yeah, I don't want to give my kids that. So I ended up sending my kids to school with a packed lunch, so they would get a healthy lunch, because I used to look at the dinners on these little grotty plastic trays, and they were just kind of like the cheapest frozen food you can buy, and chucked onto a plate. You know, that really unhealthy processed stuff that's just like a Twizzler or a cheap nuggety thing. And yeah, so I used to give my kids packed lunches. So what were your dinners like when you was at school? Were they good? Do you remember them with fond memories, or do you remember them with dread, thinking how horrible? Because overall I kind of like mine. And if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about, what it was like in the past, just let me know what you'd like me to cover, and I will do my best to do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll like this series. So I'm going to close this video now because I am actually at the Ambassador and this is what I've come to film. So I'm going to see you folks soon in the next video, and please don't forget to leave me a like and a comment. See ya!